Now at 11, a budget airline faces protests as it prepares to assist the Trump administration's immigration crackdown.
If Aello continues in this contract, then we want to shut down Aello Airlines.
Plus, Oregon's former Secretary of State speaks up as she settles 2 ethics violation cases against her.
I have imagined the chance to sit here and defend myself.
And people in Portland assemble at Assembly Brewing as the pub is preparing to close its doors for good.
I don't know why they close them, but it's because they're really good. They're doing a wonderful job.
Community members were once excited for Salem's airport to have a commercial airline for the first time in more than a decade. But for some, feelings about Aello Airlines have changed. The airline has signed a long-term charter agreement to fly for the Department of Homeland Security's immigration agency. Thanks so much for joining us here at 11. I'm John Adams. Starting next week, Aello Airlines will officially start using 3 of its aircraft based in Arizona to support the federal government with their deportation efforts. Our Celine Stevens heard from people who were demonstrating outside of City Hall.
Yeah, I mean, it's shameful. It's blood money. It's a deal with the devil.
Protesters gathered at Salem City Hall Saturday protesting Aello Airlines. The airline signed a long-term charter program agreement flying for the U.S. Department of Homeland Security's Immigration Control and Enforcement Agency, something some protesters say was done for the money.
Aello's a company that's in financial trouble, and they took this ICE money, for profit over people.
In a statement, Aello says they will open a base at Mesa Gateway Airport in Arizona, and flights will be both domestic and international to support the department's deportation efforts. Protesters calling on the city to take action.
Any city that's supporting Aello Airlines by running commercial flights is also supporting the deportation flights out of Mesa, Arizona.
Aello Airlines came to Salem Municipal Airport back in 2023, making them the first commercial airline service in the airport in over a decade. Initially, many were excited about it.
We were thrilled. I've used it many times. My wife has used it. Obviously, things changed. That was before they started this.
But since this recent agreement, protesters want the airline to either not participate in the deportation flights or leave the airport. However, some say it would not make a difference.
And they're not making policy. You're not even putting a stamp of approval on it, right? All they did, and they said in their press release, we're just looking for stable income. And that's pretty honest.
Brent DeHart with Fly Salem says the anger should not be directed to the airline, but Washington, D.C.
Let's say they put Aello completely out of business. It won't change one deportation. This is where I think it's getting misdirected. Trump's going to deport. Trump's going to deport.
Aello says they flew these charters under the Biden administration too, but protesters say this time is different.
Well, it's a misdirect. This administration refuses that due process. And so when Aello says they used to deport with previous administrations, yeah, but it was totally different.
The president saying due process can take too long.
If you're talking about that, then we'd have to have 1 million or 2 million or 3 million trials. We have thousands of people that are some murderers and some drug dealers. And I was elected to get them the hell out of here, and the courts are holding me from doing it.
Celine Stevens, KGW News.
Well, we did reach out to the city of Salem, and City Councilor Paul Tiggins says he agrees they need to take a hard look at Aello's contract with the city and shares the concerns of those who want no part in the Trump administration's efforts. But he also notes the city is not in a position to subsidize any airline indefinitely. In Washington, the Toronto Blue Jays are visiting Seattle this weekend to face the Mariners. Usually that means Canadians flock from Vancouver and take over the ballpark. But it's a different story this year. Many local businesses are worrying about the trade tensions between the U.S. and Canada, which could impact the number of visitors for the games. About 40 Seattle businesses are offering 30% off for Canadian visitors. The discount matches the current exchange rate, so Canadian dollars stretch a little further.
They love the idea of being welcomed as visitors. They are so angry and sad about the policies in the other Washington that very few of them plan to come down.
Data shows southbound travel across the 49th parallel has dropped dramatically this year. In March of 2024, more than 950,000 people made the trip. This March, the number fell about 275,000. That's nearly a 30% drop. Well, it's time to talk weather, and we're going to start off by taking a live look outside. It was a nice but cloudy Saturday afternoon, but we did get some peaks of sunshine into the evening hours. Meteorologist Joe Ranieri is joining us now. And Joe, what everyone wants to know, how are things looking for the moms out there tomorrow?
Not all that shabby, but still, with that said, we are going to be looking at some cooler conditions by about 7 degrees or so, 8 degrees, and some light showers. Again, earlier in the evening shows, I was telling you that it's going to be more dry than wet to start things off. Now I'm kind of, changing my tune a little bit. Light sprinkles, and that is all you're going to be seeing throughout the morning hours. And here we are, 6:30, 7 o'clock tomorrow. Just some light showers, a little bit of some spots of sunshine here and there, but for the most part, clouds will really dominate, not just tomorrow morning, but into the afternoon. So looking into the afternoon hours, the window where we'll start to see the most measurable amount of rain, John, is going to be basically from 12:30, about 3:30 or so. And then those showers will really pick up tomorrow night and into Monday, with a slight chance to see some thunderstorms potentially in a few locations. I don't really see that popping up for tomorrow, but I think there's a better chance of seeing some thunderstorms roll through heading into Monday afternoon. And showers will be in the forecast for so tomorrow afternoon, Monday into Tuesday, before we start to see some drier weather heading into the middle part of next week. And unfortunately, I don't see anything warm, over the next 7-10 days. It's going to be kind of a little bit different from what we have been seeing. I'll talk more about that in just a few minutes.
All right, Joe, thank you. First responders have recovered a person's body along the Willamette River. This was the scene earlier this afternoon at Cathedral Park. The body will be taken to the medical examiner for identification and cause of death. This is the second body recovered from this location this month and the 10th recovered from Portland waterways since April 13th. A convicted felon is back in police custody after pulling out a firearm in a restaurant. It happened just after 6:15 this evening at the Denny's restaurant on Tom Tennant Drive off of I-5. A caller told police that the suspect, 32-year-old Taryn Martinez, pulled out the handgun during a fight inside. Police had to use a taser to bring Martinez into custody after he ignored commands and made his way to a nearby gas station. He's since been booked on multiple charges. To the Washington coast, where the Coast Guard suspended its search last night for the captain of a fishing vessel. The boat sank off the coast of Westport around 8:15 Friday morning. The Coast Guard was able to rescue 3 people who were aboard. They've since pinpointed the captain's location, but were unable to reach the boat's interior last night. A salvage team is now developing a plan to recover the ship. Back in Oregon, the former Secretary of State addressed the state's ethics board and apologized for her actions that led to her resigning from that position. Shamia Fagan stepped down after 2 years after it was revealed that she was working as a consultant for a cannabis company while also serving as Secretary of State. Fagan made a statement as the board discussed the fine they would impose on her.
And I know that my actions were indefensible. Embarrassing mistakes, bad judgment, and I'm sorry. And so whatever fine you decide to impose on me today, I will accept it.
The board decided to fine Fagan a total of $3,600, but also thanked her for apologizing. An update now to the TriMet Max Blue Line. Tomorrow, construction work is expected to wrap up east of the Gateway Transit Center. That means Blue Line trains will resume service. Among the work done, crews replaced more than 8,000 feet of overhead contact wire, installed a new rail crossing at Northwest 11 Mile Avenue, and deep cleaned platforms. Southeast Portland is losing a popular brewery known for its beer and Detroit-style pizza. Assembly Brewing on Southeast Foster, Portland's first black-owned brewery, will be closing its doors for good at the end of the day on Sunday. Co-founder George Johnson started the Foster location in 2019 and made the announcement on social media earlier this week. We spoke with customers this afternoon who made it a point to stop by one last time.
If you've never been out here, come on down here, have some pizza. You don't like pizza, have the salad. I got the Greek salad with the grilled chicken. I think you will like it. But the beer, you know, and then get your t-shirt while you're here too.
The brewery's satellite location on Northeast Alberta Street that launched in 2024 will remain open.